What up? What up? And one more time, what's up? It's Royal G, and I'm coming at you right now. It's royalty coming at you. You know, feeling good, feeling groovy. So I'm about to do a little thing called Royal Reviews. We about to sit back and talk about TV shows and movies. I hope that you're sitting back and probably rolled the doobie, cause this is Royal Reviews, bringing it to you on YouTube, just like the news. But you know, we better than that, cause we don't give you the blues. We only give you the reds and everything that makes you want to probably get up in the bed, maybe get some head. You know, I'm just saying. So today's episode of Royal Reviews it's going to be about Dear White People. Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of stuff on Netflix. You know, this is pretty much going to be like a Netflix reviews oriented thing when I do these, okay? And we're going to have a few of these coming back to back. So hope y'all like it. AKA, it means I've been binge watching some shit on Netflix. But in order to not be so selfish, right? I'm doing it for you all. I'm doing it so maybe y'all can either spend some time, maybe I can either help you find a new show to watch and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I never knew about that show, Royal. Thank you. And I could be like, cheesy smile endorsed, you know? Or you'll be like, or maybe I'll save you time from watching something that was absolutely horrible, something maybe from this series that recently came out. I don't know. You know, I could maybe save you from watching some things that you might don't want to spend your time with, or maybe you'll get intrigued and be like, yo, let me check that out, right? So, I'm going to start doing this for y'all and start doing some Royal Reviews. Like I said, so the first one today, oh yeah, and we're in motion right now. I'm just making moves around the apartment. I'm pacing, I'm cooking, I'm doing stuff, so don't worry about any of that. But, so this is what we're doing today. Royal Reviews, Dear White People. Not exactly sure when it came out. I think it was like 2015 or so. I don't know, 2016, something like that. I do remember it being on Netflix a while ago, but then they changed the logo or whatever, and so it made it look like it was a new show. So I was like, okay, let me watch this, right? So I'm watching the show. It's great. Starts off, it's about some, it's basically about different kids, different African American kids' take on college and what they're going through, their different issues, and then they're trying to basically show you these kids different issues in a way that is either relatable to other cultures and or understandable, and or maybe you'll have one of those moments where you'll be like, well, Juwan, I never thought of it that way. And then, like, you know, some black guy looks over and he's like, well, Christopher, maybe if you watch this, you can understand. And then, you know, then they have a little moment, right? But anyway, let's get to the show. So, this was going on. I forget the main character's name already. I'm not even going to lie. I already forgot her name. It's something, though, right? So, it starts off, this girl's got a radio show. By the way, spoilers possibly coming. I'm going to break down certain parts. Maybe I'm just going to tell you the whole show. Who knows? But what I do know is this. So it starts off, there's a nice little pretty looking light skinned girl. She's got her own little radio show and it's called Dear White People. It's broadcasted all over her college campus. So the way the whole thing starts off, apparently someone threw a blackface party, which those of you who don't know what blackface is, go ahead and Google it. I don't got time to get into a bunch of racial shit right now, historical stuff, okay? But what I do got time for is to tell you about this show. Now, so what she does is have this little thing where she talks about and basically tries to inform white people on how to correctly address black people about certain things, or just, you know, basically letting you into the mind of how like a somewhat militant college black girl thinks, you know? Okay, cool, right? We get the premise, right? So 7 minutes in, she's fucking a white guy, right? I have no problem with that. That's cool with me. I just was like, damn, it only takes 7 minutes to have a sex scene in the show now? Like, I timed that shit. Like, they started banging it out. Like, she literally did, like, one broadcast, walked home, and then next thing you know, she was getting dick. And I was like, wait. Huh? You can't just throw sex distractions at me yet. We're only how far in? And I look at it, shit, 7 minutes, 47 seconds. So if you want to start the first episode and just skip to the first sex scene, 7 minutes, 47 seconds. There you go. I just saved you 7 minutes, 47 seconds of your life. Now, so what goes on from there? Apparently, you know, I guess the black group that she's with, because she's in like the black student union and ahead of like all these different little pro-black groups on the campus, right? So she's like, hey, I'm not telling anybody I'm fucking a white guy, right? And the white guy was like, guess what? Put her ass up on Instagram real quick, right? So then everyone's like, so militant black chick number one, you going out with a white dude. And then everyone kind of just quickly accepted it, to be honest. Like, no one really gave a shit. Like, they made it seem like it was going to be an issue. And only person that really cared was her best friend, and she wasn't even really all that mad. She was just kind of like, I'm more mad you got a boyfriend that didn't tell me. Now, this is where it gets weird. The dude is her student advisor, though. That was one thing I caught that on the low. But, okay, so dig this. So each episode of the show is about a different character, right? But the whole thing takes place over basically a 2 to 3 day period, just over from these different characters' point of views. So that's what makes the show interesting. So think of the movie Crash, but broken up into TV episodes, basically, right? So then dig this. So episode 2 is about this guy who at first I was like, hey, he kind of looks like me. He kind of resembles me. This kind of funny. This kind of cool, right? So he's like this little nerdy black journalist kid. He was like, you know, kind of like the Earl Sweatshirt lyric. Like he was like too black for the white kids, too white for the blacks. Really, he was just like mad nerdy or whatever. So he got super outcasted or whatever. Becomes a journalist, dude. Goes to college for journalism. He's writing the school paper or whatever. I guess what happens is, I mean, you know, some cool I told y'all. I'm telling y'all the show. Let's go. So this is what happened. This is why I was like, fuck, why this guy gotta look like me? Like, fuck. I finally was like excited for a second. Then it was like, fuck. So the guy that looks kind of like me, right? I forget his name right now too. It's whatever. But just, you'll know who it is if you watch this and then watch the show, and then you'll be like, oh, that's who he's talking about. Yeah, right. So this was about his episode. So his episode is he's trying to basically discover his sexuality or something. So they're like, so he keeps going through these different little situations and scenarios, and people keep being like, so what are you? Are you like gay or straight, or like what are you? And he's like, I don't solicit to heteronormative titles or these labels that y'all call like LGBT, and now added a Q up in there, whatever that's about, right? So now it's like, okay, so everyone's looking at him like, you'll either wind up licking some pussy or sucking some dick at some point. We'll figure it the fuck out. You gonna figure it out, right? So he goes into some shit. Some dude and some girl try to have a threesome with him, and he was kind of like, I'm more interested in the dude, but then actually I don't even really want the dude, because then this chick is hanging around and she doesn't really know what she wants either. So it was just a real awkward moment. Just an awkward college, you know, are we experimenting here or not moment. And then he goes home, right? Everything's normal, whatever. Turns out he has a crush on like his roommate or something. Some dude that gets mad pussy, so he's never gonna get with that guy, right? Anyway, next episode, right? So next episode, don't even remember what it's about, but it probably has something to do with the show. There was more stuff going on dealing with this whole little party thing. They're trying to figure out who actually started this whole, you know, blackface party. Then there's like this whole stuff. The whole show deals with a bunch of racial tension, of course. Then, you know, there's like the black chick who's like there's like, all right, so like episode 4 or 5 is like about this one black girl named Calandria. I don't know why out of all the names I can remember is the most fucking confusing name in the whole show. Like, so serious. No one else's name is difficult to remember. There's a guy named Troy, you know. There's stuff like that. Simple. But for whatever reason, I can remember Calandria, but I can't remember who the main damn character is. Whatever. So Calandria also goes by Coco. Apparently Coco was like, you know, the black girl who just grew up all around white people, but was always just the black chick, but she only grew up around white people. So she was like really pronounced and spoke well and all that. Was kind of like, I'm not really into black dudes like that. And then all of a sudden a fine, well-speaking black dude shows up, aka Troy. And then there you go, right? So then that story mode spins off. Then, you know, then they go into the whole Troy guy. His whole situation was he was a privileged black kid, you know, silver spoon in his mouth. His dad is the dean of the school. So he's dealing with those kind of things. His dad is putting extra pressure on him, wants to become school student class president, like it matters or whatever. There's a whole bunch of stuff with that. Turns out dude's smashing like 4 or 5 different joints in the school. He's hitting it off with a teacher. Might get blackmailed for it. Who knows, right? So there's a bunch of stuff going on in the show. There's some interesting things to check out. There's some cool dynamics happening there. There's some things that might make you go, whoa. And then there's a couple things that'll just make you go, wow, they accepted that pretty easy, you know? Then, you know, basically the whole underlining thing of the show is just trying to, you know, appropriate black culture and all that type of stuff. But you see all the contradictions and the irony and all that type of stuff that goes on within the show and the entertainment and all that. So that was that was the Royal Review Feud. Yeah, so that was Royal Reviews. That was first of many to come. Like I said, I just binge watched a bunch of stuff, so I'm about to hit y'all back to Bizak, like Drake with these things right now. So the next one, I believe, might be One Punch Man or I don't know. I've been watching a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, I zoned out doing something there. But yeah, more Royal Reviews to come. Hopefully y'all like this one. View it up, watch it, see it, do it, you know. Touch it, bring it back, watch me doing it, bring it, stop for a minute, touch it, bring it back, watch it, turn it, bring it, stop for a minute. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Alright, Royal Rants, Royal Reviews. Dear white people, over and out.